Jackson 5. Hey.
We're live. And we're live. Ridiculous. I was sitting here. I'm like messaging somebody on the side. I'm taking care of something that's popping up, and I hear, "Hey."
That's the music. It wasn't me. It was never me. It was just the music. Hey.
Hey. What up, everybody? The Saturday live show, Check Down Champs, is live right here on YouTube. I'm not on Twitter today. I can't get on there. It didn't work. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here on YouTube. So if you're watching my channel right now, like the video, subscribe. Of course, turn the noties on. I'll be live tomorrow morning as well. If you're watching on Hulk, the Hulk Bets on YouTube and Twitter, make sure you guys are liking his video, retweeting, subscribing, and turning his noties on as well for all of his live streams, including the pregame live shows. My friends, we're back, man. We're back, and this is our first official NFL season show. David and I have been skirting live week 1 shows for like 2 weeks, but this is official. How you feeling, bro?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. The NFL is back. They've given us 2 incredible primetime games. Like, man, I was talking about this last night. The lineup that they gave us for these primetime games and then giving us an extra one on Friday night, perfect. Couldn't have been better from a betting standpoint. Couldn't have been better from a football quality product standpoint. Just fantastic. We're back. We're officially back. This is it. This is the official We're Back show.
We are back, no doubt about it. Good morning, Bennett. Good to see you, fam. What's up, Tevin? Appreciate you, man. We love seeing the same OGs week in and week out saying what's up, coming to the show nice and early. Hey, yeah, look at all these people, man. We know these people. These people are popping in our shows in and out on Twitter and Discord. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Early bird does get the worm. 9 a.m. on a Saturday. We got college football all day. David, I don't know if you got any college football picks to drop for the people later, but if not, I'll plop 1 or 2 in here just to help people out while they're watching. We are killing it right now, James. Appreciate you, man. A little jump off. Saw Hulk go absolutely nuclear last night for his Patreon. I went bonkers for my ad shopper pick service, and we're here melding our minds together for some pick 'em and parlays this weekend. The touchdown bros. That's really what our parlay.
It really is.
Should have been called. We messed up. We're not the Check Down Champs. We're the touchdown bros, and we're
the exact opposite.
Huh? Yeah,
it's like the exact opposite of a check down champ.
Yeah. We're about to show you them TDs, baby. We're going to give them to you, and you're going to enjoy them. So let's get to it, my friend. David, if there's a specific, you're like, I want to just create the absolute W for people this weekend, and there's one play that really moves the needle for you, and it's a longer odds play. Do you have one dialed up, or should we make one?
I don't have a longer odds play dialed up. I mean, a plus 175 is kind of getting up there, but so that's just a single, but we could build out a couple of touchdowns. I have we'll have to track this. I have a touchdown prop from almost every game going, and so far it's live 2 for 2 right now. So I'm very curious to see so maybe something like that where we pick a couple of our favorite touchdown plays and try to almost do like our own round robin. I don't know, something like that. We can figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do a lot. We're going to do it on the road here.
Yeah. Man, a favorite touchdown play. I have a couple dialed up. So my favorite one might be James Conner, to be honest, which is kind of outrageous, but you have to consider the odds you're going to get.
Let's do it.
And
let's take a peek.
So I like James Conner's touchdown then. James Conner's touchdown was at a plus 175 on DK.
And the Arizona Bills.
Yeah, I actually had a little write-up for this one too, so I'll share some data that I have for it, not just like it's going to happen kind of thing, and just trust me because we've gone nuclear the first 2 days. I'll give you a little bit more than that. Conner handled 86.5% of his team's red zone carries in 2023, meaning if they get into the red zone, Conner is the guy getting it. That was one of the highest, if not the highest in the NFL last year. Scored in 7 of his 13 games that he played. He scored in his last 5 games of the season, and a better offense this year. This is more of like a hypothetical hypothesizing, but I think a better offense leads to more red zone opportunities this year. And if that happens, and even if his 86% of his team's red zone carries drops a little bit down into like the 70s, I think that the increased opportunity number means that he can continuously cash us out of this. And the Bills defense, this should be what's the line at? Is it 40?
They were
46?
6-point faves.
6.5-point fave. But what's like the over under? Actually, I'm sorry.
47.5.
Yeah, so a relatively high implied total here. I love James Conner to get a couple of red zone opportunities. All we need is for him to punch one in, and I think he does that.
I'll stick in the same game just for fun here. Anytime touchdown, of course, Josh Allen took that earlier this week. It's also in the free article on the site, which also is 2 for 2. I had is it Saquon or AJ Brown last night, and then Thursday was I can't remember.
AJ Brown and Henry. I think it was
Derrick
AJ
Henry.
Brown and Henry, right? Yeah.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Look at it. It remembers my content more than I remember it. This is pathetic. A little embarrassing there, but
it's okay. We're recovering.
I digress. Josh Allen first touchdown plus 500.
First touchdown.
First touchdown. Yeah, I'm not. James Cook is not going to become a red zone factor. Ray Davis, sure, he'll get some touches. I don't know if that happens right away in the season, and I don't know if they'll, resort to him around the goal. Josh Allen's still their best goal line option. Like, I don't care if you bring in a freaking bull to be the backfield and slap the helm on it. You've got a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback that can get into the end zone. And I expect Josh Allen to do very much of what he did last season, racking up, 15 touchdown rushes, whatever, absolutely crazy. So I like Josh Allen first touchdown. I think that's a phenomenal reach there at plus 500. Of course, we want you to line shop, my friends. This is what's easy for the live show as we pop up a platform like FanDuel or DraftKings, and we just kind of go back and forth a little bit, but there's a million books and apps out there. The 2 touchdown bet for Josh Allen is also plus 500. So if you're like, man, I think Joshy Poo can go out there and get me 2 tutties this week, but you don't want to take the first touchdown, by all means, do what you want to do. BetMGM has a really cool promo this year where if you take a first touchdown bet, and this is probably where I would play it, and they do not score first, you can actually get your money back if they score second. It's not a lock and load, but hey, cool. You get a second chance essentially to at least break even. So, maybe Josh Allen on BetMGM for the first touchdown, I think is interesting.
I've got a question for you.
Let's hear it.
Do you think that there's any scenario, because I do this often, like the guy that I like for the anytime touchdown the most is usually probably a great play for the first touchdown. Is that always the case for you? Like pretty much always? Like why would a player be like your favorite anytime touchdown, but not the favorite for first touchdown?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the position. Like AJ Brown, I would not have taken first touchdown last night, but I took him at plus 130 for an anytime.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I like the anytime at plus odds for a guy like that in prime time. But there's so many scoring options. Saquon, we also took for a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, always a threat if they're on the one inside the red zone. So I think it probably boils. I don't know if there's a blanket statement for this thing. Is very much specific to the team and the situation.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I'll usually say, personally, like I'll just say that pretty much most of the guys that I think are going to be good for anytime touchdowns, like last night, Saquon was my anytime touchdown guy. And that's why I played the first and the 2+ and the first team as well.
Would you do that wide receiver?
Like a fine option. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would.
Like
I would do it. CD Lamb, I would do it. I didn't, but I would.
CD, I think, is another one I would too, because he has the highest touchdown equity in the team. Would you do it for AJ Brown? That's a question for you. On a team where there's also
it depends. Yeah, it depends on who they're playing against. If I know a team is weak against wide receivers, especially in the red zone, give me a big body receiver down in the red zone. Yeah, I would. Last night, I'm obviously not going to do it if my favorite is Saquon. So like in that instance, that didn't make sense. But like, for instance, like, I don't know if I have another example off the top of my head, but yeah, like I could totally see that. Like Houston Texans, not saying this is a play, but if you were going to take Nico to score a touchdown, that's a team that I don't think they have a strong run game or anything like that. So I think if they score, yeah, it totally could be. Like if I liked Nico to score a touchdown, yeah, he absolutely could be somebody, especially since you're probably going to get like a plus 700 on it or something. That would be an instance where I would be fine with taking him. Or like a Justin Jefferson, no running. Again, just throwing out names, but
CD.
Yeah,
no, I'm with you. Some of these wide receivers,
guys, teams that like guys that are good in the red zone. Sure. Yeah.
Like these guys that don't have a running back are the teams where I would take a wide receiver for a first tutty. Yeah.
And we're talking about for first touchdowns, we're talking about like, smaller bets, smaller unit bets. So yeah, absolutely. I think it's worth a sprinkle. I thought of this last night, and I don't know if we've talked about this, but like a touchdown ladder, I think makes like a lot of sense. That's what I did with Saquon. Did we do touchdown?
Yeah, we did those with Mostert.
1 and 2. Oh, okay. Did we do like first anytime, first team? Where you play all
we were starting to sprinkle like, okay, anytime touchdown, put a unit on that. Then you go like half unit on
Dude,
2 touchdowns. And I
that
think
was
it's phenomenal.
Saquon last night. That was what I did with Saquon. First team cashed. First for the whole game cashed. Anytime cashed. 2+. Literally was insane. And like Saquon just, when a guy scores 4 touchdowns, or 3 touchdowns, it gets pretty easy. But yeah, I like that. So I like this play. Would you take Josh at a -125 for any time though, or no? Because it's just too juicy.
I actually took him for a -105 though. But would I take him for a -125? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right. It's kind of getting up in the range though.
It is
where it's
like uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean it's not. It's just
he did score 15 touchdowns last year though.
He did. That's true. And he's not like a guy like I talked about this yesterday. Like I was not on Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown last night, and I don't think I will be nearly as much as we were last year because you lost Kelsey, who was like the center of the tush push. Everybody forgot. They literally couldn't even get a snap off last night.
I'm going to be real, though. We didn't get a chance for him to tush push last night. There was no inside the 2-yard line.
He tried, but they fumbled the snap.
But that was on like the 6.
No, he was at the goal line at the end of the game. He fumbled it at the 2-yard line.
Fumbled the snap then, but still didn't get the opportunity.
Right.
But they were going to try it. So
maybe, but
the tush push, I don't know if we can firmly say that's over with when they still were doing it on like 3 different third downs and tried it again on the goal line. And Barkley was not going to get the football.
I think it gets a 50% reduction, which is significant.
That's very much a results-oriented view, in my opinion, because they still did it the entire time. And Barkley's 3 touchdowns were not inside the 2-yard line. He had a 20-yard catch. He had a couple different long runs. So the short yardage spots last night, what did they do? Did they turn on 3rd and 1 and hand it off? No, they didn't. Did they try to hand it off on 3rd and goal? No, they didn't.
We'll see. I'm saying this right now. The tush push, he had 15 touchdowns last year. I bet you that number cuts in half.
Ain't nobody saying it's not gonna. His futures touchdown bet this year was 8.5. So the books also were already adjusting for it.
I'm thinking 7, and I think that the tush push, you just don't have the same effective center like you had. Kelsey was the center of it, and now you bring in a guy.
Beyond that fumble, they went 4 for 4 in tush push first downs last night. So
that's all right.
Tell me it's not effective.
It's not effective. No, it's not going to be as a thing. It's not going to be like a thing. Like he's not going to score those touchdowns like he did last year. Like they're going to go to Saquon more. That's what I'll say. They're going to go to Saquon more.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that's like $20 million.
That's not I don't even think that's a debate. I'm with you. Okay. Like the tush push
it's definitely
is not going to be what it was last year, but it's not dead. It's not dead, clearly.
Sure.
They were still running it.
Yeah, I think you bring in Saquon for that reason. You don't put Jalen Hurts in that scenario to take those hits or to get rolled up on as much with all those guys there. I think
by the way, did you see his left knee? He was in a precarious spot there on that fumble too. His left leg was planted, and that guy rolled up on it, grabbed his leg, and then he went down. I was like, oh my God, did he just blow out his knee? And then, he rolled over and got up.
You're playing with fire, throwing your entire franchise. Could the Eagles recover from losing Saquon Barkley? They can. Can they recover from losing Jalen Hurts? They cannot. So I think that just out of the smart, like what's best for the team, I think they try it less potentially, and maybe even more as it goes on, as they show that Saquon's a big guy. He's not like a small dude.
By the way, he looked fast as heck last night, man. He looked so freaking healthy.
He looks good. His biggest thing's always been his health.
Yeah.
It really is. Calgary, morning, Alberta.
Yeah, I know, right? Good morning, awesome. Tim, out there in Canada. Appreciate you tuning in, friend. What's up, Philip? Good morning. Got the coffee in hand and the TV on the living room. What a TV. W. Goated Mills with the best comment I've heard of the day. I'm sorry to everybody else. Being someone's favorite bald person.
Can't even see your bald head.
I know. I gotta listen, man. If I take the hat off and try to stream with a headset and the
lights shining on you.
The lights, yeah. It's like the freaking sun. Y'all won't even be able to see me anymore.
Turn down the brightness.
Don't make me bring that GIF up again.
What GIF?
Don't make me do it. The bald GIF.
Well, you just put up a picture. You just put up a picture of Larry David
every time. No. I'll bring it up here on the side. Let me. Who are we talking about? I was gonna look at.
We had James Conner and your boy Josh Allen.
I know. Allen. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna look up Allen's touchdown because we got him for -105, and I want to see what he is still. Let's see, total touchdowns. Fliff has a best line here, -115.
Wow, it's only. Oh wait, that's an under, right?
That is.
Yeah.
Over best line is -128.
Doesn't even know how to use his own tool.
Oh,
Just kidding.
well, I have the multiple weeks in there, so you can see the Bears, Titans, so you can bet on futures. Yes, I
Actually,
know.
what are his future rushing touchdown props? Because it'd be interesting to get some value before it moves. If
Are you talking about for the season?
Well, no. Just for like next week. Like if I want to get ahead of the odds, like all right, right now we're getting a minus 125. Not great.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get if you're gonna give me like plus odds potentially, but over the course of like between now and that game 2 weeks from now, if it's gonna shift and I'm gonna lose the odds, maybe I just want to bet it a week ahead. And then he gets hurt. I risk my $10 or $20 or whatever, but not that that's gonna happen. But that's the only risk.
I'm seeing the issue. It's not even the futures. Look at all the Allens. Keenan Allen. So I just have to type in Josh Allen next time. Keenan Allen, Zach Allen, Jonathan Allen, Davis Allen, Alan Lazard, and Braylon Allen.
Give me Alan Lazard to score a touchdown.
Golly. Look at BetMGM.
Plus 5,000.
Plus 15,000. They don't even think this man's getting on the field.
Hey, by the way, did you see that? I think DraftKings had a boost yesterday. Each team to score a rushing and receiving touchdown in the first half. Yeah. I had it on my screen. I meant to talk about it on stream last night. Forgot. Not a big deal because it ultimately did not cash, but it was one Josh Jacobs or Green Bay rushing touchdown away from cashing it out.
We had a plus, I saw this in chat, plus 14,000 for both teams to have a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in both halves.
Oh, I think that's what it was. Maybe
everything.
2 different ones?
Yeah, 2 different ones. I saw yours as well. That was rushing
and receiving, right? Okay.
Rushing and receiving. This was passing. So
is
essentially
passing the same?
I don't know, but it was plus 14,000.
That's what this was. That's the same thing. It was the same odds.
Plus 14K?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be the same thing. Hey, let me tell you this.
Like, hold on.
I've got a plus passing, not receiving. I'm like, well, how are they going to do that?
Let me see.
Somebody's got to catch the ball.
Each team score 1 plus rushing touchdown, 1 plus passing touchdown. It was plus 12,000. Mine was plus 12,000. In chat, I saw plus 14,000.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 14, maybe on DK or something. Or that. Oof. Okay, yeah. That was it was one. I mean, listen,
I put 841 in there, so it would return $1,008.
Yeah.
I wanted the 1,000 on payout. So the entire second half, they both scored in the third quarter and got what they needed. The only thing, or all 3 touchdowns had been cashed. The only thing left.
Yep. 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left in the third quarter is the only thing you needed was a rushing touchdown from Green Bay. I know. I saw that.
And Jacobs kept busting like 20-yard carries, dude.
I know.
And the one, I was like, oh, my God, it's a foot race. And he got hawked down by that corner, had a good pursuit angle, got him on the sideline. But if he beat that one guy right there, that was it.
I know.
Oh.
All right, listen, I led there. Give me another touchdown. You want to give another touchdown prop, or do you want to just keep those guys in there and start building something out? We can do a couple of different ones. What do you want to do? I have a couple more, and I just have a couple of regular plays. Even I'm, fine with parlaying them with. Hey, let's talk CD Lamb though.
TD Lamb.
Well, listen, he's got a terrible matchup. Let's just say that he's got a terrible matchup. Now, I don't think it's worth necessarily fading him at all, but it is a bad matchup. So I was just curious, do you just play him no matter what? You don't care?
Yeah, I play alphas in bad matchups at plus odds specifically. Like if you had shown me like Josh Allen minus 125 odds for CD Lamb this week.
Yeah.
Right. But it opened at like plus 130. I don't know what it is.
170 on FanDuel. I put it at. I got it at 170 on FanDuel. CD Lamb. That's pretty good, right? Now it's only looks like maybe like a plus 130. So it's definitely come down a little bit.
That's what I mean. So it's like some of these guys, like I'm just going to be playing regardless of matchups because I think that their role and the volume of opportunity is just too high to pass up. So a guy like TD Lamb's going to be one of those regardless of matchup. Cleveland, though, I mean, yes, potentially one of the 3 or 4 worst matchups in the NFL for a touchdown for an opposing wide receiver. But as you and I talked about this summer, who the heck's scoring for Dallas? If they score 2-3 touchdowns this week, right? They score 14 points. Literally, they could get beat 24-17 or something. Yeah. And I still feel like CD probably caught one of those 2 of their scores, right? Because it's not going to be the running backs. And what other red zone opportunities do we have in the wide receiving options?
Right.
They're all small, skinny players.
Yeah. No, you're right. Dak, I don't love many Dak props this week though, because Dak's yardage is like 256.5, and
That's
Cleveland's
scary.
defense was the worst against opposing quarterbacks, allowing only 164 yards per game passing against them last year. Like that's insane.
And they're on the road.
That's insane. Yeah, that too. I just think that and I know actually we could talk about this sometime, but like, I know you said, I saw you say something like, I don't think previous seasons matter. And I will say, I respectfully disagree in the sense that, like, if the team hasn't changed that much, if the landscape of the team is the same, essentially same players, same defensive coordinator or whatever, which is what we're kind of looking at for the Browns. I don't think they've really lost anybody, same defensive coordinator. Then I think that personally, you could probably use that as like, okay, this probably is not a great benchmark. Now, if we end up, getting 2 games of data and we see like they're just leaking passing yards, then okay, that's totally different. But I'm okay with looking at that stat at 164.5 yards and saying Dak's probably a stay away from me for this week.
Yeah, the tweet you're referring to said stats are mostly irrelevant. I think you have to take them within context.
Gotcha.
What I'm seeing all over Twitter by the youth movement of 20-year-olds who have just used trending tools. They look at this and they're just firing off. Oh, hit the over in 12 of 17 games last year. Just like, come on, bro. There's no context. There's a new offensive coordinator in that offense.
Yeah, that definitely changes.
Right. So it's like the team they're playing, is at home now. They are, 7.5 point favorites. The total is low, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's no Vegas implication in what they bet on. They're not looking at the opponents. And guess what? Like a lot of these stats too, like you can still take the stats from last year and then apply it because you feel like their situation has changed. But what if the opposing team's situation has changed? What if their defense is not as good this year? Blah, blah, blah. Like there are so many layers to it that you cannot blanket. And, of course, just I'm not going to be able to define all this in a tweet.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to define the context around the stats that you're using, I just think they're totally irrelevant.
Yeah, I got you. Do you like anything else for CD this week or only his touchdowns?
Just his plus 130 touchdown. I haven't looked at any first touchdown odds. The only thing I've done for touchdowns this week is I wrote an article where I had 16 touchdown picks. I picked a touchdown in each game as like an early leans list, and that's it. And CD was the touchdown there. Today's the day where I'm going to go through and figure out like, who are my first touchdowns? Do I want 2 touchdowns? Okay, I'm doing a touchdown parlay for these 3 players or this game SGP. And I just haven't done that yet. I've been so focused on Thursday and Friday night. And then this morning, got up early and I hammered out like 8 or 9 college football bets. So the next thing is figure out what the heck I'm doing for Sunday.
I like it. So what do you got on the screen? You got
Davante
Adams?
Yeah, plus 190. With that conversation that we were just talking about, Davante Adams is a plus 1,000 for a first touchdown. Like, look at the names in this game, okay? There are not really that many players in this game where I'm like, touchdown equity, like maybe Gus Edwards, hard stop. We don't know what Lab McConkey is going to be doing in the red zone. Joshua Palmer is not a red zone wide receiver. Zamir White, who saw pretty good playing time the last 4 weeks of the season last year without Josh Jacobs, did very well. But is he going to be this massive red zone threat? I don't know. We'll find out. He's only a plus 160. I think that the odds here for Davante Adams that we're getting for the first touchdown are absolutely insane. Gardner Minshew, very much in the Baker Mayfield, same cut of cloth where, okay, I think he's down there in that corner, fling, and they just chuck it up. Or like a broken play, and they just try to make something happen. Like they're going to make mistakes, but they're kind of like some old school gunslingers, regardless of their talent level. And I like that plus 1,000. I even like the 2+ touchdowns for Davante Adams. I think there's value in all 3 of these bets, and I probably would use like a bonus bet on something like this. And if you're betting on, of course, we're talking like a fraction of a unit, right? So if my normal unit size is $50, I put like 0.1 unit on it, $5, literally $5. So if he hits, it's going to return $50.
Yeah, no, I think he's a great person to do our the touchdown ladder with this week. Kind of similar situation. I know he's in a different position and everything, but kind of similar situation to Saquon where like you just feel like all the touchdowns are going to have to run through him.
All the touchdowns.
And that's what I'm going to at least bet on. And if it doesn't happen, we're talking about small units. That's fine. Often these plays are, they're long shot plays. So the first touchdown scorer might not hit because somebody else could just jump in there and vulture one out. Zamir White could run one in at the goal line, but the most likely guy, I think, is Davante Adams on that team. So that's where I would put my money on that one too. And otherwise, this is a game that I'm probably not that interested in too. So it's easy to just place one bet, do a little touchdown ladder, and move on to a new game.
Yeah. There's no reason to really invest much of your bankroll in these spots. Even this stuff, like we like it, but it's not like I'm in love with it and we're dropping units on it.
Yeah. I
It's a
like his
long
first.
play.
I like his anytime touchdown quite a bit, though. I think that's pretty solid.
Plus 190 is insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Listen, a guy still racked up, 7 or 8 last year with garbage under center? Like, he's a couple of seasons removed from 18-plus touchdown seasons. Like, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Yep.
And it's not like he fell off a cliff. He's only 32.
Yeah, that's true. And it really, honestly, even if he did fall off a cliff a little bit, it doesn't necessarily matter for his touchdown because he's such a good red zone guy. Like, same thing with Cooper Kupp, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, or even Keenan Allen.
Speaking
Very
of,
good
we
in
got
the
to
red
circle
zone.
back to that game Sunday night. Jeez, Detroit and the Rams? What a Sunday night. Back to what you said, the primetime layouts this week.
So good.
Incredible. We're getting the Rams the Rams in Detroit, I think.
Yeah.
And then, and then Monday, Jets are on the road in San Francisco. Wild. Absolutely wild. What great games. Aaron Rodgers, finally, primetime. 2 Achilles tendons.
Better than last year.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Listen, this is an open invite. If you want to jump onto one of those night streams, we'll build out primetime parlays because these games are so good.
They're amazing.
After doing 2 nights of them in a row now, like it's so easy to build out parlays with these guys, like with these teams. You just have so many options.
Who do you want to move to next?
Well, I mean, I could build a little nice little twofer in the Colts and Houston Texans game if you want.
Yeah. I mean, let's go to Colts.
Easy. Give me Anthony Richardson, anytime touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I like parlaying that with CJ Stroud over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh, I love it.
I think that's nice and easy there. Smooth. Ooh, yeah.
Wow, he's only at minus 156 for the passing touchdowns.
Yep. I think what was
I would have thought that would be like a minus 180 or so with that freaking trio of wide receivers.
That's what I'm thinking, right? And with only Joe Mixon back there, I don't know. I like it. I think that if you're going to attack the Colts team right now, do it through the air. I don't know if they're going to bring anybody in, but they didn't bring anybody in, so their secondary is kind of thin. Yeah. And
I mean, look at these odds. It actually is juiced up even. That's actually just about the best odds we're going to get. Minus 156 FanDuel, minus 155 on. Let me zoom this in a little bit for people for DraftKings. And then, I mean, you're minus 174 on Caesars, minus 175 Fliff.
Yep.
Internationals, minus 170, minus 164 on Penny. Pick them up. Multiplier is terrible. Yeah, golly. Actually, that's not a terrible. Like, if you got a boost for this game, just taking that pick and
over 1.5,
or something. Yeah, I think that might be like a really slick way to bet on that game.
Yeah, I took it as a straight earlier because I just think listen, with that trio of receivers, especially with a Keenan Allen, a red zone receiver, like give me that in a game against Indy. I think he had, how did he score last year against Indy? Did he go 2+ both games? Or I know he did it one game at least. But I can't remember. Let me see here. Against Indy. Yeah, he did 2+ both games against Indy last year. So yep.
Indy's defense going to be any better this year?
Their front seven is fantastic.
Leola Latu from injury, right? That missed last year. Do they have somebody return? Linebacker, one of their linebackers?
No, they lost what's his face, stud linebacker a couple of years ago who was just not the same. Yeah, he was just not the same. But they've actually been really good about bringing up linebackers the last couple of years.
Defensive
he
player
was so
year
good.
Level,
yeah, punching out. He had like 8 punch outs one season. They have been bringing up really good linebackers that they've been drafting. I think they have EJ Speed and Zaire Franklin and one other guy whose name escapes me right now. And then they also had another one that left and went to the Giants, who's been doing really well with the Giants too. So they've been kind of like linebacker U for a couple of years now, bringing out these guys. They had Darius Leonard. Their front seven is fantastic. Leola Latu, DeForest Buckner still. Kwity Paye, I think, takes a leap. Their secondary is a little bit weak other than Kenny Moore. So that's what I'm saying too. Like, that's where you're going to attack this team. So give me the CJ Stroud over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think this game ends up being a pretty high scoring, pretty exciting game. Probably one of the better, if not like one of the top 2 best games on Sunday, excluding primetime, maybe, let's say, even for sure. But yeah, so give me the A-Rich to score a touchdown. I think Anthony Richardson is somebody I would even look at maybe laddering. Again, small fractional units for sure. But give me the anytime touchdown, give me the 2+, and give me the first touchdown or first team touchdown. I think it's a decent option. Sprinkle bets, because you always have Jonathan Taylor there. Okay. Sprinkles. But yeah, I like Anthony Richardson to score a touchdown in this game for sure.
So on Monday, David and I had a tiff live on air about his inability to be able to plug in the Colts weekly money line with the Bills money line to do a check down champs weekly parlay for the people. We had the Colts. Well, I tried to coerce him into taking the Colts money line with the Bills money line all 18 weeks that they match up on the same week. So we should get 16, 17 games of this and just parlaying them. And you brought up a question like, well, what can you even make money? You know what? I think we can. I started to do the math on it after the show because I'm such a nerd. So I got best odds, and I'll show you my live bets. You can see it. Because I wanted to see, and I was like, I don't want to forget this. By the way, this was one of the opener parlays. Just taking the freaking Chiefs, Eagles, and then banging out the Bills, baby. But here it is. Plus 211. Plus 211. Not too bad, dude. So I had done the math. So if we can get like I'm just showing people what these picks are. We'll talk about the Dolphins here.
Sure.
For sure. It came out to like we needed to win, I think 8 times. I can't remember the freaking odds off the top of my head. I'll have to see if I wrote it down anywhere. But it only needs to win like 8 or 9 out of the 17 times at like plus 110 or something like that. Like it's not even that hard.
Okay.
Right. So if you think the Colts can win
11 games, probably 10.
Okay. Let's say 10 because that was what I projected. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I think Colts can go 10-7 this year. And let's say the Bills win 8 of those 10 times that they play together. You are, because we're talking about 17 games, you are making a small profit at plus 110 odds is the average. Bro, I just showed you plus 210 week 1. Like if we're going to be getting plus 180, plus 220, plus 200 odds, then you need to win fewer. And I can't remember what it was, 5 or so. So like, can they win in the same week like 5 times this year at plus 210?
Listen, why stop there? Why not do Bills money line and Josh Allen rushing touchdown and Anthony Richardson rushing touchdown and Colts money line?
We're laddering this. The check down champs ladder. No.
Why stop there?
I mean, stop.
Let's do it. Let's do that right there. Bam. Put it in. Lock it in. Done. I'm in. But you got to throw the touchdowns in there.
Let's see what it is.
How comfortable are you now? Now he's like, maybe I don't want to do this now.
Oh, no. I'm intrigued enough to look at it. We're going to look at it live.
It's probably going to be a plus 450 something, maybe.
Oh, it's going to be higher than that, I think.
Or plus maybe 6. What do you think? 6? Well, Josh Allen's a minus 125, right?
Yeah, maybe not this week because the Bills are heavy favorites too. I think actually might be a pretty good guess.
Did I say 450? Let's see. Come on, brain. Oh, it's going to be a little higher than that, but come on, brain. Whoa.
Plus 700.
Wow, that's pretty high. That's a lot higher than.
We need to hit this quick math 3 times this year. That's it. Just 3 times. We hit this 3 times and slight profit. Just saying, man. Just saying. I'm in. I'm in. Check down champs lays.
I'm in. I mean, if you really want to take out the touchdown props, you can, but like.
I want to be able to sit together on a Sunday or come back the next Saturday and talk about the Colts game and talk about the Bills game and cashing out a plus 210 for the people. And I think what makes it easy is not everybody can parlay using like Fliff and stuff, which I think a lot of our viewers are probably watching is 25.
You can't do that on Fliff?
Nope. You can't put together 2 SGPs. So if we just keep it as simple as possible and we go money line, we're giving people today, it's a plus 205. Anybody who's viewing can do the check down champs weekly lay.
Gonna have a lot of people rooting for the Colts. Listen, we got to say what's up in chat too. Go ahead and enter it. Go ahead and enter it. We got to say
it's already live.
Oh, okay. We got to say it. We got to say what's up to chat. I see Patrick in here, and we got a couple of questions actually too.
All right, what do we got here?
We should look at the question.
Worth to maybe play JT plus Stroud and another slip for AR plus Stroud.
You'd have to do the math on it, but yeah, I mean, I think that's a great option, and I think that's probably where the touchdowns will come from. So, I mean, really, the only thing you're looking at there, as long as Stroud hits, you got a good shot for both of them. Because if you're tying your thing, that's risk. It's just risky. Like the same thing with the Saquon thing last night. Like if Saquon had a bad night, it's risky because both of your plays are tied up in one outcome. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a fine option. I don't know if JT has like any specific history against Houston. Yeah, he scored in 4 out of 5 games. against them. He has had multiple 2+ games a couple of years ago, though, before Richardson got there. But yeah, I don't hate it. Richardson's definitely my favorite, but Jonathan Taylor is a beast. And this Houston Texans allowed the 28th most rushing touchdowns last year. And by the way, guys, here's a good one for you. You ready for this, Mitch? The 28th most rushing touchdowns last year and the most rushing touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks. How's that one?
Beautiful.
Almost forgot about that. Done.
Patrick Lee says, making breakfast for the family and locking in these plays.
Love it. What are you making? Little eggs? Little ham and eggs? Little pancakes? French toast?
PJ Pablo, how do y'all feel about Mike Evans anytime touchdown? Listen, I was going to go to Miami next because I had just shown the Tyreek Hill play. I love Mike Evans. I mean, how do you not? Yeah. 13 receiving touchdowns last season. They're at home. I will say this. The Commanders, this is very much one of those plays where it's similar to the CD, where if you're giving me decent plus odds, I'm just going to plug it in because of their touchdown equity. But this is a tough matchup. I think Washington's defense is going to be pretty fantastic this season. I believe they have a new D coordinator. They spent a lot of the offseason drafting defensive players, bringing in free agents. And I just think that they're going to be a better defense. I've read enough about them for their improvements here to be maybe concerned a little bit about the Commanders games. We have a 42.5 point total, which I think is also indicative of that this could be lower scoring. That being said, at plus 130, I love Mike Evans and I did play him. I've already got a bet in for him. And I love Mike Evans' futures props. They had 999.5 receiving yards for the season, a mark he has had, regardless of quarterbacks, offense, everything, for like 7-8 seasons in a row. And, as one of those guys, and you guys, you and I have talked about this in the past too, Keenan Allen, the other one, where they're seemingly always banged up. Like Mike Evans and Keenan Allen are like, injury report weeks 2 through 18, and you just have to live with it. But they often will play all but like a game or two, and they just kind of hobble around. So I'm taking Mike Evans. I like this season long. I like his touchdown prop week 1. Do you have any different of opinion? Do you not care?
No, he's I like Mike Evans. I think he's just like a Devontae Adams play here, is that he's one of the only guys that I really like to score in this game to begin with, and give me like, he's almost like, he's almost like a CeeDee Lamb thing. I mean, he's kind of like CeeDee Lamb here. Like if they're going to get a touchdown,
13 touchdowns.
Yeah, that I don't care about their matchup really, then sure, that's Mike Evans. So I don't have to love the matchup. Not that I hate it though. I really don't know. Like I know they brought in a new defensive coach and a new defensive coordinator, new defensive line coach and stuff. But I don't think that necessarily will impact Evans directly. So I think he's going to get his red zone targets, and he's such a beast down in the red zone that he's just like a plug and play for me, regardless of matchup, unless, we're 8 games into the season, and he hasn't caught one yet. And then maybe he's just due at that point too. So I still probably would play him, but yeah, no, he's a plug and play. I don't need a lot of reasons to like Mike Evans here. Yeah. I mean, I like Slot Godwin this year too. He's a guy I was really high on during like best ball drafts and just fantasy football in general. So Godwin could always snipe one. I guess you always have that concern going where you have nobody else really for Vegas other than the great Brock Bowers here, who we've talked about before. But yeah, no, Mike Evans, I think is just too good of a touchdown guy to avoid.
It's interesting too, as I'm looking at this for the first time. This is the first time I've looked at anybody outside of Mike Evans for this game. Brian Robinson Jr. at plus 220. I don't think Eckler's going to be their red zone guy. They kind of brought him in. I've already even talked about it. He's a great pass catcher. He's good in pass pro. And that's all they continue to say all summer from what I've been reading. I got a feeling Eckler's going to be very much the third down guy, which, by the way, Brian Robinson was very good in last year as well. I think Brian Robinson Jr. at plus 220 is very interesting because if we've got a lower scoring game, maybe, Jaden Daniels has some problems throwing the ball week 1 or something, okay, well then guess what? Maybe Brian Robinson in the red zone shoulders the load a little bit. The plus 220, I think, is pretty interesting. I like that a lot. I'm intrigued to see what it is around the sports books because I mean, getting plus 200 for essentially the starting running back, a guy who will probably be the 1A in the offense, at least plus 240 on FanDuel for a starting running back. That's a lot. Like, is there much of a difference between Brian Robinson and Zamir White? Zamir White is a plus 160. We're getting a plus 240.
I think the only difference is Zamir White truly has nobody else there, and Eckler could actually snipe a touchdown. That's the only real thing. I mean, like Eckler, I think they do like Brian Robinson Jr. I think Eckler could be like a 35 to 40% market share or like touch share. And Zamir White truly has nobody else behind him. So Zamir White should be like 80-20. So that's probably baked into it. It's just like opportunity behind him. But yeah, that's probably it. But I mean, that's good. Those are good odds for a touchdown from Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm actually jotting that one down on the side here because those are the types of plays I'm looking for. Like if we're getting a running back who's going to get, potentially 60-65% of the touches and likely be the guy they would go to first inside the red zone, tremendous upside. And, of course, you don't play something like this for a full unit if you don't feel good about it, but you can play it to win a unit. So, like for me, I'm literally investing 0.4 units. That's it. 0.4 units to win 50. Like, okay, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not
and
bad
same
at
with
all.
the Devontae Adams play. Like, yeah, I don't need to put down a unit on bets like this.
Sure.
Like, you just want to play longer odd plays to win a unit, do it that way. I mean, the world is your oyster in all things betting, and you got to make sure you're comfortable with what you're entering. You can't just blindly tail, A, B, and C if you're uncomfortable with it or won't be able to handle mentally the results. So
right.
Be smart about how you guys are betting with all of these things we're mentioning this weekend because, David and I are not that risk adverse anymore, right? Like we're far along.
Numb is the word you're looking for. We're numb to it.
Yeah, you're right. There's no safety belt. We have no seatbelt on. We're just going 100 miles per hour and we're top down. So be smart about your plays because we're just going to be a little bit more aggressive because we've done it for a while and we've had experience and we've had success in this market specifically, and we're not going to stop now.
Absolutely. All right. So Patrick answered my pressing question that I had. Making sausage, egg, and cheese bagels. Sounds delicious. And Joe Maleka. Joe said, who shines this week that nobody is talking about? Woo, that's a spicy question. I like it. Man, who shines? Shine is, I don't know. Is shine a touchdown? Probably not. But so who has a big week that nobody's talking about? Yeah, man, Joe, I wish you'd.
I'm gonna mull that one over.
Yeah,
we're going through the games.
Yeah, I'll try to think of something too. I want to give a good answer to that because that's a good question.
It's a great question.
All right. Do you have another touchdown prop while my head is fully trying to wrap around like who's nobody talking about?
No, I'm okay with talking about some. Well, I'm sure I will, but yeah. I'm okay with talking about some of these games here for this 1 o'clock slate before I move into the 4s. Week 1 money lines.
We got to talk about Miami too eventually.
Oh, before we do this,
that was the other one you wanted.
You're right. Let's go over that.
Yeah.
Jags and Miami. This game is in Miami. Listen, we got 2 Florida teams, but there will be, there will be the home crowd standing up here. Miami, very popular team down there for decades. Touchdown props. Be careful. Be careful. These teams have a litany of players that can score touchdowns, and they have players that can score touchdowns from anywhere on the field, which those are things often that will ruin touchdown props. Legitimately. Like if you're trying to target a touchdown playmaker on a team, but there's 4 other guys that can score. And not only that, they can score from anywhere. Devon Achane, 80-yard rush, Tyreek Hill, 75-yard slant. So it's like these guys can score from anywhere on the field. So I think it's hard. I legitimately only did a half unit on Tyreek Hill, a guy who I think 13, 14 touchdowns last year, tremendous touchdown equity, can score on any touch. And I still only put a half unit on it because I don't know who's going to be scoring. It's just, we almost got Jaylen Waddle's still there too. It's like Raheem Mostert. We don't know what's going to happen in the backfield inside the red zone. Is it going to be the Achane show in between the 20s? And then Mostert comes in inside the 20 and that's his role? I don't know. And we don't know. And there's only one way to find out. Watch the games, see the data roll in. I took Tyreek Hill to score. I took Achane to score. Had Achane rushing prop. There's a lot I like in this offense, but I didn't go heavy handed at all. I kind of want to just see it shake out and I wanted some action in this game.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to plant a flag in this game and not sprinkle on every guy. You know what I mean? Like play multiple people. So I planted my flag on Devon Achane to score a touchdown, anytime touchdown. And that's it. Now, the stressful thing about that is you do have so many of these guys out there still that can score touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, if Tyreek Hill catches a slant and takes it to the house, like, I'm probably not going to have any action on that. Not because I don't think he's a good idea, but like, I like the odds I got with HN much better. If we really think that all these guys have a pretty good shot. So give me the better odds play essentially. And then it really is just like trying to plant a flag. Like, could I put, a half or a quarter unit on both and probably still profit if one of them hits? Maybe. But so I think that's a decent option if you do the math and find out that that's an option. Or maybe even the play is just to play both of them together in one little fractional unit parlay. I think that's a fine option. But I planted the flag and just said, give me Devin Achane. I'm high. I really hope that he takes over more of the reins this year. More than likely, Mostert, especially in the beginning of the year, is probably still going to be that inside the 20 guy. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong and that Achane gets more of the workload and can pop out a touchdown for me. So.
Looking at Miami, Christian Kirk, some of these guys, Brian Thomas, like there's just Raheem Mostert, there's just so many of these targets here where these guys can score from anywhere on the field. I'm with you. I played that for fun more than anything. I don't have this like significant good feeling on any of them. If anything, I'm probably just looking at like, where can I get best odds? And then little sprinkles like Raheem Mostert plus 130 on DK is 25 cents better than any other book. Stateside, 20 cents better than Hard Rock. So like, Raheem Mostert for a tutty, but like only on DraftKings. So I don't think that you and I can sit here and give a blanket, oh yeah, Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. It's like, well, no, a part of it has to do with their odds. And like, are you getting any type of value? And if you're not, I probably wouldn't even touch it. I just wouldn't.
I think
HN to score. Plus 120 on DK, best stateside books. Looks like that's very in line with the rest of the sports books. The Mostert one was 20 cents higher. So like maybe a little sprinkle on Mostert this week, just because he seems to be undervalued over here on DK.
Do you like the Mostert and Achane both this week? Like that was something we were looking at a lot last week.
I haven't really thought through this game touchdown wise.
Listen, ultimately, guys, it's week one. Well, I was just going to say it's week one. So like, I think personally, and it's kind of crazy to say with how good of a start we both had, but like, I think our touchdown bets will only get better as we get to see more from these offenses across the NFL. Like we're only going to have a better finger on the pulse of like, okay, who's their red zone guy? Who's going to get the ball right now? We're kind of going based off last year, kind of going based off of, what we know this year from camps and stuff, but it's still very much, it's a brand new season. It's week one. A little idea you could have too is do a anytime touchdown for Achane and then take his over rushing yards. Something like that. You're highly correlating a little SGP. And I like that as a decent option too. Give me him to take, to have like 30 yards rushing over the course of like 5 or 6 runs. And then for him to break off a 25-yard run. And maybe that goes for a touchdown, or maybe he scored a touchdown on one of the other ones. And it's an easy cash. He ends the game with, 75 rushing yards and a touchdown. And I'm happy as a clam.
I have a question for you because I'm just thinking aloud now. Would you play one unit on both these players at plus odds here on DK?
Separate, like just as straights?
Just straight plays.
Single. I really, it's probably smart. But would I? Probably not, only because I want to see if Mostert is still the same guy as last year, or do they shift and give Achane more of the carries just in general, because he's clearly the better player and he's young, spry. I don't know. So I'm probably not going to go there, but I totally could see the value behind it. Like, I don't think it's a bad play. Mostert had 18 touchdowns last year. He's not going to get 18 again, but he probably still gets to double digits, probably still gets 10. So, and this is a high scoring game. I like this game. I like this game to be a, kind of an up and down, little bit of a shootout. And obviously Vegas agrees. What is it? 49.5. It might be the highest total. Is it?
I'd have to look.
I think it's the highest.
I think the Rams game is also like 49 or 50. 52.5.
So it's the second highest total of the week. So obviously, the odds agree with this being a high scoring game, and it's not, a 7.5 point spread. It's pretty tight, 3.5 points. So for the home team, which, as you always say, that's 3 points right to the home team. So it really is a tight game. That means they're thinking this is a 0.5 point spread essentially. So it could go either way. So give me the up and down track meet, which actually makes me like Tyreek Hill even a little bit more on that too. So I think my favorite is like Achane and Tyreek Hill to score touchdowns.
I think I think I've thought through this enough here to just lock it in. Like, instead of 1 unit on both HN and Mostert, I throw a half unit on each rather than trying to figure out who's going to
That's
score.
better.
And guess what? If one of like, do I think
You get your money back.
neither of them are going to score? Okay, then take the freaking under this week, because if neither of them are scoring, are you saying that, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to have 4 receiving touchdowns? Like, okay, well then maybe grab the over for 1.5 passing touchdowns and put together a parlay with, Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, right? Like, you can game script this out. If you don't think that one of these guys will score this week, right? I think we are likely going to see all season, should they be healthy, in a perfect world, one of them score weekly.
Every game.
Yeah,
probably.
Similar to...
Wait. If you do the half unit, if one scores, you profit slightly?
Yeah, watch.
No matter what?
So, let's say you did 10 dollars, right? Like, you ain't winning much. I mean, you're winning,
all right.
let's say $10 was my unit, okay? Or half unit, whatever you want to say. Yeah. You're getting a $2 or $3 return with 20 or 30% ROI.
That's all right.
20 or 30% ROI. All they have to do is score. And we got a similar situation. I'll just circle to it right now because right here I am, and we're just kind of talking about David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. But look,
the odds aren't
as good.
You can't do it. Yeah, you
can't do it.
Figured.
This is not doable here at my smart. And are you telling me that Monty and Gibbs have a better shot at scoring than HN and Mostert? I 1,000% disagree.
I don't think
1,000% disagree. Like, there is no difference in separation for touchdown equity in these two versus these two, but you are getting 75 cents more or whatever the math is, 75, than Monty here, and then HN, the similar, big play guy for Gibbs, 45 cents better. So I'm not looking at Monty here, DK. I'm not looking at Gibbs, DK. But for a plus 130 and a plus 120, touchdowns are not so much like who the player is; it's what the odds are. I really think that is a probably the biggest piece of the puzzle for making your touchdown bets.
Good point. Yeah, no, now knowing that, because that changes everything. If you could bet both and only one has to hit, I did something similar for the Thursday night game, I think, where I had crunched the numbers and I was like, okay, I built out 3 2-man parlays for touchdowns. And if one of them hits, you profit. If 2 hits, you profit a lot. And if 3 hits, you're dancing in the streets. I like that. Like, if you're going to do that, one of those guys, in my opinion, is scoring this week for sure. And I think it sounds like you agree. So I just locked that in for a half unit for each two, because as we're
easy money.
One of those guys is scoring. One of those.
If it's not him, then you know what? The other half unit play I had on Tyreek Hill is going to hit. And right? At which point I am only going to be out like a half unit.
Waddle scores all 4 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the lowest touchdown equity guy soaks them all up?
I know. But
to hedge my bets, now I'm going 3+ touchdowns Waddle.
But listen, you guys have to understand that, like, this is what we were talking about with this team. That could happen. We say it's the highest odds guy, but it's Jalen freaking Waddle. So, like, he's no slouch, just got paid, huge contract. So yeah, I think that, like, that is always a possibility because you have so many options here. It's the same thing when we talk about trying to decide. It's the same thing I talked about last night's video, trying to pick out of that game who was going to be the guy for Green Bay was not easy. Like, the Green Bay wide receivers you got 4 good receivers. This team, you got 2 very good receivers and 2 very good guys coming out of the backfield, very good rushers. You got a new tight end there, and it's going to be hard at times to predict for some of these teams who's going to score the touchdowns, but plant your flag. And I think that one of those guys between Mostert and Achane for sure gets a touchdown. Absolutely. So I think that, like, that's going to be the challenge this year, though, when you're betting on teams like Chicago or Houston, trying to predict those pass catchers and who's going to be the guy from week to week, unless we see over the course of a couple of weeks a clear favorite emerge, is going to be a tricky thing. So just know that that's always a possibility when you have these teams with multiple guys that are freaks and great, track stars, or guys that are great that can all score. That's always going to be a threat.
All right. Joe Malek asked this question, said, player that nobody's talking about. Joe, I think for me personally here, I'll let David rip his own. If we are talking about a guy nobody's talking about, it's Devontae Adams touchdown at plus 205 for DK. I think that's it for me, man. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't heard anybody. I haven't seen this play anywhere. I read a lot. I listen to a lot because I like to soak in information. Plus 205, Devontae Adams. I posted this like a week ago in Discord. I love this play. I didn't know it was at 205 now on DK. I wish I had waited and seen it today because I think we plugged it in at plus 195. But I think for me, if we're looking for like that nobody's talking about where's the value. I think it's right here. I think it's right here with Gardner Minshew under center for the Raiders, and literally no one else I can rely on in this game to score a touchdown for the Raiders.
I guess mine is definitely somebody that nobody's talking about, but a guy that if you've been watching my videos, you know how much I just love this guy for the season. And he's a guy that we've never targeted for a touchdown, I don't think, ever. In the history of our streams, I don't know if we've ever targeted this guy for a touchdown. DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf, I don't think we've ever targeted for a touchdown.
That'd be shocking.
Listen, it doesn't ring a bell, my friend. And I don't think we were really high. You know, we had our guys. We had our guys, and Kyron Williams last year, and we had Amon-Ra, and we had all the Miami players, and we had the Josh Allen rushing touchdowns and stuff like that. I don't remember any DK talk, but I'm going to talk about him now for week 1. I think DK. This is really, honestly, guys, before you go and plunk down huge units on this, this is just my love for DK Metcalf this season. This is just the offense that he is coming into now. It's not even a particularly great game or great matchup. This is just him and his talent. So that's a guy that, since I was put on the spot, I will go with DK. And I think you could even do something like 80 plus receiving yards and a touchdown. Something nice. I got to do it from a SGP to see what the exact odds are. But something like that.
Our 2-pick parlay?
Plus 738.
And nobody's talking about parlay of the week?
I'll give it to you.
How many plays do we need to brand here for the check down champs?
I don't know how DK's odds are worse than Devontae. It's very weird. Like, very weird. Very strange to me. That makes no sense. And I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like a plus 275, 300 or something. And then to be only a plus 175, and it was even worse on FanDuel, I feel like a little bit uncomfortable about it. I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't understand why his odds are that low. Like, am I in love with him, but he's also has other love?
No, listen, I'm going to make you feel better. I already have DK Metcalf was in my article this week. I think at that
first touchdown.
Yeah. At that price, plus 175. What?
I'm just surprised.
Like, why?
I'm telling you,
right? Because look at FanDuel. I think the rest of the books are in line. Because look, I mean, we got plus 145, plus 138. BetMGM, I don't know, 1.5. But Fliff plus 150, ESPN plus 165, Penny and Bovana plus 169, plus 150. The best price is on DK. I legitimately think this is just a valuable line.
Well, all right.
Take it. That's a good line.
I'm doing it. But I also think that if he gets there, I personally like looking at something like his receiving yardage prop too. So that is something I think is interesting.
You think the correlation between the two?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For DK?
I think so, especially with a big play guy. He'll catch a couple of 30 plus yard passes, and it doesn't take much for him to get to 80 plus. So, they might be ahead in this game. Maybe they give a heavy dose of Kenneth Walker, who's a guy I also wrote some plays up about. So I think that's really like what worries me about DK is just like Kenneth Walker there. And I think Kenneth Walker probably goes over his rushing yards this week. So if they get ahead, if they're up like 14 if they're up like 14 to 17 points in this game, DK is going to be hard to hit unless he's what got them there. But yeah, I like it. Roll that one out then. That could be our nobody's talking about parlay of the week. And, but yes, I also think that that I would look at some correlation between DK yardage and a touchdown there his yardage. Yeah. And his touchdown there for DK with a player like him.
I think we should come up with multiple things throughout the show that weekly we're just doing. People can tune in for the check down champs, Colts Bills money line of the week. If we're going to parlay that, which I think we just lock it in, and then things like this, right? That nobody's talking about parlay of the week. The unheralded heroes of week 1. Like, we'll think of some good stuff and let's put together some gems. It'll be fun.
All right. Yeah, I'm down. I like it.
I'm right.
All right. That was good. That was a good question, Joe. It's tough, but that was a good question. Do you want to look at chat real quick? We got a couple of things in chat. If you wanted to just answer a couple of people's had some questions. Yeah, Andrew Robb says Chase Brown. I posted, and I'll just give you this to you guys free. Okay. This is in the VIP picks channel, but I'll give this to you for free. It is Chase Brown over 14.5 receiving yards this week. I like that as a play a lot, as a straight play. With Jamar Chase self-describing himself as, I'm going to be playing in a limited capacity. T. Higgins is injured. As long as T. Higgins doesn't play and Jamar Chase is telling us the truth, I think Chase Brown at over 14.5 receiving yards is a fantastic play this week. So he mentioned Chase Brown. Nobody's talking about. I'm talking about it. But you might be right. I don't think it's a high play. But I think that if you see Higgins officially get ruled out, which I don't think he has been, I think Higgins or Chase Brown becomes a thing this week potentially. So let's get it before the line moves. Doubtful. Jamar Chase questionable. Higgins doubtful. All right, so Higgins is probably out. All right.
I saw Chase video walking around at practice. Look fine. I think he's gonna be playing. So
I think he's gonna play, but he even came out and said, like, I'm gonna be limited if I play, which again, I don't know if he's telling us the truth or not, but I wonder if that's because, like, hey, I'm trying to sign this multi-million-dollar contract. They haven't given it to me yet. My body might not be 100% ready for week 1 because I haven't practiced in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And he might just be saying, like, I'm gonna protect myself. I know that's what I'm saying. You got to at least answer some of these questions. You got to talk about this.
I avoid them like the plague sometimes. Like this
okay, fair enough.
Just so I don't lose my crap on live air.
Come on,
yes. Golly.
I'm gonna keep it cool.
I'm gonna pull my Bill swag on for you not to just be blasphemous in this channel.
I know.
What are we doing here?
God help us if somebody starts ripping on Anthony Richardson. God help us. God help us.
No one's talking about Kincaid. Don't get me started.
Well,
CD, we already talked about him. I don't think we're missing anything much. I'm going to be honest. CD, we talked about him.
No
touchdown, no sweat parlay. Like that stuff we'll post in like our premiums. We've talked about a lot of touchdowns today. Colorado college football?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We could get to that maybe after the NFL segment. I think Shakir is going to fire it up. So many drop passes he gave that they're now going to Shakir. Maybe. We'll see. And there's a lot to suss out there in Buffalo about who's going to step up and what their pass catching roles will be.
I think Shakir's line was like 50.5 receiving yards or something. Pretty low.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at Bill's receptions. You know, I think there's
you're not going to be able to do much research with it because it's so different from last year. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Is like it's going to be hard.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
You know, I like that because I don't like to rely on last year's data for the first week of NFL until we can figure out what these roles are within the confines of their new offenses. But like, look at the Bills' receptions, man. Like they're all so freaking low. Like if there's any of them that I like this week, it's probably Kincaid plus 120. You're giving me plus odds for, maybe the guy who honestly could have 120, 130 targets this year after catching like 78% of his passes last year and only 90 targets. So, maybe that. Just simply because we're getting tremendous plus odds.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if I can bet on Coleman or Shakir or if they put Samuel in there. Like, it's just, I don't know.
I'm with you. You. I thought Kincaid's was 4.5 at one point, but I could be wrong.
Probably was. It was probably juiced to the over.
That's what I was thinking. I like it much better at 4.5, but 5.5, you're getting great odds. You're getting great odds with a guy like Kincaid. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of those things that like it's just going to be tough we're going to have a better understanding of it after at least a week, but preferably like 2 weeks. And then we'll be able to sit here and be like, oh yeah, the targets are going to this guy and this is why. But right now it's like, you guys, your guess is not that much different than our guess. Like we're all kind of hypothesizing here. So yeah, I don't have anything. I mean, I was looking at Kincaid's or Shakir's yardage prop, but I haven't done too much with it yet. Okay, that's all. All. I just wanted to
maybe Paul Simon's question here might be a decent one to look at as I'm
FanDuel money line
scrolling through chat. Yeah, just a little money line parlay. Boost it. Start with the Bills, go from there. You can just do Bills Colts 100% boost would be plus 400. Let's do. Yeah, you could. Let's do. All right, let's do one. This is so difficult for me. I avoid most money lines frequently. Especially week 1, because like, I don't know, just like there's so many of these teams that are very different than last year. However, for Paul, we'll do it. Let's try it. Okay. So you like Bills. I would 100% boost this.
Yeah. I had Cincinnati Bengals plus 7.5. I parlayed with something earlier and no, plus maybe 8.5. But here's the thing. As soon as
plus,
I parlayed 2 of them together. Like I outlined it.
So you took Bengals plus 7.5?
Yeah, let me look. Gotcha. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, like I alt spreaded it.
Gotcha.
And then I sent that out in the VIP channel. It was like Eagles plus 7.5 and Bengals plus 7.5 or something like that for like I don't know, plus 180 or something silly. I'll have to look at it to see exactly what it was. But as soon as I did that, Chase came out and said, like, I'm going to be playing a little bit, and Higgins got ruled out, and the line dropped a whole point from 8.5 to 7.5. So I was like, ooh. Wasn't my favorite thing to see. It was Eagles plus. Oh, I'm sorry, Eagles plus 10.5, Bengals minus 6.5. That's what it was. But listen, if you really want to build one out, do I have to always include the Colts and everything? They're in a division game.
Looking at stuff.
Okay. I like Chicago. Give me the Chicago money line. I like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's great, but you're not getting great odds there. But yeah, give me the Chicago.
Well, we're getting 100% boost. So
yep,
that would have been a plus 160.
And give me the Falcons too. Falcons money line. No Russ Wilson. Not that I think that matters a lot, but give me like the volatility of Justin Fields back there. And maybe the Seahawks.
Oh, you got 4 legs. Let's do it.
Oh, I'm a degenerate. Primetime parlay.
So this
I'm primetime parlay mode.
This will be around plus 700 to 100% boost it.
There you go.
Bills, Bears, Falcons, Seahawks. I think I just go 2 and just boost it to plus odds.
Yeah.
For the reason why you nailed in the beginning that it's week 1. Yeah. Expect volatility in the outcomes of games more than anything else. So honestly, the Bills are one of the only teams I'm like, okay, they're going to win this week just because I'm a super Bills fan, right? So I'm super biased. Outside of that, I don't know if I can take anything and really feel totally confident about it.
I already did preface it with it, but that's going to be all right. So I'm going to go back on this video because I like that actually a lot. I'm going to have to do that one after.
Okay. The other 2 were Bears, Falcons money line.
So those are the 2 you feel the best about. The Seahawks was the other one.
As I'm looking at it now, and I'm just trying to figure it out a little bit, I think maybe this would be the best 2. But truly, I still think the Bengals win. I don't even, I still think. Listen, the Patriots, Jacoby Brissett going to be starting week 1. Low total at home, Cincinnati. I just like them. It's hard for me to not want to play them. And no, I'm not taking this, but if I could boost it to a plus 160, sure. I'm interested. I'm not even joking. I am interested a little bit in this. That would be a plus 400 to parlay the Colts and the Bills. I just like the Colts a lot this week. I had them to win. That was one of my first picks weeks ago. I like the Colts with A-Rich. I think they're going to win some games. They got, returning health on both sides of the ball, as you had alluded to. So there's a lot to like there. Maybe Miami at home against the Jags week 1.
But hear me out. I'm curious. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you really like them to win. I like if I'm getting plus odds on a money line, I don't like those. Aren't the plays I like to parlay together, but maybe that's not the right attitude.
How do you have a process when you don't touch them?
What was that?
How do you have a process if you never bet on them?
I don't bet on them that often, but I never said hold on. This is where you do. Hold on, bro. I never said I never bet on them. Hold on, bro. Hold on. That's not what I said. What I did, you're taking one thing and using it for everything. I didn't say never. I just said I don't like to, especially not in week 1. That I'm more of a player prop guy myself. Okay. Fair. But no, I think that if you're going to give me plus odds on a play, I like parlaying things to get better odds on things, like 2 likely outcomes. So if I'm getting plus odds on it, I don't feel like I need to parlay that. So I wouldn't necessarily include that in a multiple play money line thing. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting the plus odds already. I don't know if I need to. If I was this is a stone cold lock. I don't care. The Colts are at plus money line. I think they're for sure going to win. This team's dog trash that they're playing against, whatever. I don't know what dog trash is, but yeah, then that's different. But listen, the Houston Texans are a good team. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close division game. I do think the Colts win. That's why I also took their money line. However, I do recognize that I have shortcomings and I'm a Colts fan. So, try to keep that at an arm's length, try to keep that in mind when I'm doing things.
All right. I'm in. I think I could at least get behind the Bills in Seattle. I don't know what we're going to get out of Denver this year. I just don't think they're going to be very good. And I think Seattle's on the up and up. Little bounce back action. I think they got new offensive coordinator out there too.
New head coach Ryan Grubb.
It's just coordinator, right?
Coordinator Ryan Grubb.
Yeah. So I think Seattle's going to make some waves out there in the NFC West. So I think I would just go Bills, Seattle, and then 100% boost that. But if you're feeling fresh, man, you want to get that plus 700, by adding the Falcons and the Bears.
Yeah.
The only thing for me, I like the Falcons more than I like the Bears pick. The only reason why I don't like the Bears one is just rookie. It's a rookie. And,
Sure.
on the other side, you got Will Levis. And I think when you have a second-year quarterback, not a ton of starts, and you've got a rookie with no starts, you're going to get volatility. Like, who the heck
I
knows
know.
where we're getting in that game?
You're right. I also think that just Will Levis is just always volatile too. So it's almost like he's a rookie anyways. And no DeAndre Hopkins too in that game, which I think does make a difference here. But I would say also I like even adding the Cincinnati Bengals to that one. So that would be like a little 5-legger there that I think I liked a lot too. But yeah, I'm fine if you want to take out the Bears, but like, rookie home opener, Caleb Williams looks good. Give me the Bears at home with no DeAndre Hopkins against another volatile player in Will Levis who likes to throw the ball up for picks too. Yeah, give me the Bears. If that's,
you can get behind the Browns a little bit too. I think
taking the Bears.
Browns at home.
That's they might win, but I'm not touching that one. For me, I don't like it. I like the other ones better. I'll take the Bears 100% over that one. That's my take. That's all.
I still like the Falcons more.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Falcons, I think Seattle's definitely better. Cleveland. Oh my God. That's September 15th.
Look at him. Look at him in the chat. Throw it up there. Give him a little love. Not an ordinary rookie, Mitch. Just wait. That's right. Let him know. We have a little season-long bet here going.
No, wait, bro. I never said he wasn't going to be good.
We have a little season-long bet going right here. One of us gets the other. We have to buy the other player a jersey. I think that's the bet. Is I got to buy a Caleb Williams jersey. He's got to buy me an Anthony Richardson jersey. We're going the Temu jerseys though, right? Like we can't do the full-blown 200 game-worn jerseys. But yeah, he does not look like a regular rookie. He's no Andrew Luck, but he looks good. He looks real good. So we'll see.
I'm trying to think any other plays for the 1 and 4 o'clock that I'm interested in. Again, listen, fam. Officials are going out later. This is my first look at a lot of these lines for these teams. Very much just trying to get the juices flowing here. Let's go to these games. I actually kind of want to skip some of these a little bit. Let's go to these primetime games as we're pushing into hour 2 here. Rams on the road against Detroit. Got a great total. 4.5 point spread. Minus 205 for the Lions, plus 170 for the Rams. We've got guys everywhere in this game for player props that are interesting. Maybe let's cook up an SGP for this one. What do you think?
Sure. I'm going to lean.
For some fun.
I'm going to lean on you on this one a little bit because I have that live stream for it. So got to save a little juice for it. But let's do, let's do
I think I'm going to start here then. I'll go Amon-Ra, 80 plus. Like him a lot for receiving this week. On the other side, I'm going to run it back with Puka and I want to see his, I think it was 68.5. I looked at him earlier this week. Let me double check. Puka's, 73.5. Oh, maybe it moved. I'll go 70 plus at minus 130 to start them off. I mean, if you just don't want to do it, I can just move forward.
You going to throw a touchdown in there?
I thought about that until I saw this and I realized, man, I just don't like these odds as much as I thought I would. Maybe if I go anybody, I think Kyron Williams might have the best touchdown equity for the Rams this week. Okay. If you want to slam another one in there, maybe Monty, and you get a plus 800. And I feel really good about that. Something simple, 3-4 legs. I'll let you save your Sunday night action. Let's go do Monday Night Football. Listen, if y'all watched, that was a 45-second segment for that game. It is what it is. There's a plus 800. Very simple. Moving on.
Simple.
Monday night. We have Jets on the road in San Francisco. We get finally two Achilles Aaron Rodgers out there, plus 4.5 Jets. Road Dogs, plus 180 money line there, and just a very low to moderate 43.5 point total. Expect the defense to be there, says Vegas, with the opening lines. I, on the other hand, think the over could be an interesting play. There are a lot of very good players on both sides of the ball. Two very good quarterbacks, one Hall of Famer and one rising star in Brock Purdy. I'm interested in the over 43.5 a little bit. And of course, there's some plays here that you could take. Minus 160, not the worst odds you're going to get. I mean, honestly, I don't like minus 150s, minus 160s, but geez, if there's anybody that I'm interested in playing a minus 160 for, it's a freaking CMC touchdown prop.
Yeah, I really like Garrett Wilson this season in general, but I think my favorite parlay right now is just CMC and Breece Hall to score a touchdown.
Keep it simple. Let me go to the SGP.
Yeah, I hate that so much. That happens to me
FanDuel
every
lets you
single
do it.
stream.
You could just kind of like click around, that's real
Yeah,
nice.
every single stream that happens to me, and it makes me so annoyed every time it happens.
So
It's
annoying.
the worst. I don't understand it.
So you're not getting the good odds over here.
No.
-190. So that's a +250. All right. So I'll take the sweet time.
Do this SGP. You got to go to the SGP tab. Yeah.
Touchdowns.
There you
CMC and Breece. Wait.
What was the other one?
Okay. 256. A little bit better.
Okay. Yep. I like that.
Slightly.
I really like that one. Give me Breece. Give me
Easy.
CMC.
Yeah. And I think we've targeted the two guys with the most touchdown equity. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I don't know who else would score out there for the Jets this week, honestly.
Just
like,
Garrett
it's
Wilson.
Literally just Breece and Garrett. And other than that, like, you're not really betting on Mike Williams, you're not betting on Tyler Conklin.
No, I mean, Mike Williams definitely, if he's going to do anything, would be the red zone guy. But
just don't know what you get from him.
No, yeah.
How healthy is he? How many snaps is he getting?
I mean, I kind of like this game because we can kind of, well, definitely on the Jet side, but you can kind of narrow down really where those targets and plays where we think they're going to come from. So I do like that in some sense. But as far as like the San Francisco side, like, is it Debo? Is it Ayuk? Ayuk's another. If you want to go with a little bit, you want to get yourself some better odds, go with Ayuk and Garrett Wilson. Actually, I think that's interesting too. You could do something like that.
For what now?
Just for touchdown. Yeah, I think that's like the top two guys.
You said Ayuk and who?
Garrett Wilson. If you're talking about like, give me two guys that could definitely score touchdowns that are not like, okay, the two top guys on the board or whatever. I mean, it's kind of hard not to include CMC in like everything you do. So, I probably would get a little crazy and just throw CMC in there as well. But like, that's something that's a little bit better. But yeah, as far as the most likely scenario, it's probably got to be CMC and Breece Hall.
Okay. What do you think about Debo? I'm actually loving this.
What's Ayuk's? Oh, you take him over Ayuk. Ooh, okay.
For a first touchdown score. Just because we got, some potential rushing touchdown equity. We've got the big play, receiving touchdown, give him the ball, gets an open space, he's gone. I think there's a lot of value in that plus 800.
I guess I'm curious to see who gets the coverage.
Oh my God. Write that one down.
Wow, Ayuk's a plus 1,000 on there.
You can sprinkle a fraction of unit on both of them.
Who does Sauce Gardner line up against? That's my question, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I want the other guy then.
I don't believe he shadows, though. I believe he plays the right side. So maybe they move these guys around a little bit.
I think I like Ayuk a little bit more. That's mine. I think I would take Ayuk. So, and actually, honestly, give me Ayuk at a little bit better odds. That's part of kind of what moves the needle. Yeah.
I mean, you could go. Let me just show people just so they understand. Like, let's say $10 a unit. You do something like this. Like, if one of these guys hits, you're making like 0.8 units back. Like, it's a fun way to sweat out the first touchdown. But let's be real, man. It's hard to bet on anybody in this offense to score a first tutty over CMC.
I know.
Jeez, like you're getting insane odds for these guys because of Christian McCaffrey being there. I'm interested a little bit in this Garrett Wilson plus 950. That is interesting because listen, what's weird to me is that you're going to be giving, like, check this out, bro. Let me talk through this. You got CMC Breece Hall plus 110, Garrett Wilson plus 150. Over here on FanDuel, they've only separated them by 10 cents. Okay. But then they're giving you plus 200 more for Garrett Wilson first touchdown. I get it. Running back equity for red zones. Yes. But I don't think that there's like this massive touchdown equity upside in Breece Hall compared to Garrett Wilson this year with Aaron Rodgers. I think that's what it remains to be seen. Like, does Garrett Wilson turn into like a rising star of Davante Adams youth, right? 13 touchdowns. And then all of a sudden it was in his prime. He's getting 18 or so, so if so, then this is just an insane steal for a first touchdown. And maybe the play isn't overall, like, you're not doing this, and maybe not even here, but maybe you'll go look at, I don't know if they have it on FanDuel, first team touchdown score.
Yeah.
Maybe there. Oh gosh, man, they get plus 310 for Brees first team touchdown. And maybe CMC's the move there for first team for San Francisco.
Yeah, plus 185.
Plus 185. Man, again, this is such a convoluted situation.
It is. There's just so many different directions to go, and that's the only thing. But yeah, I mean, after looking at that CMC one, it's kind of hard not to think that it's CMC first team. What was that? Plus 185. I'll write that down too.
Anytime touchdown score first half, CMC plus 155. Sheesh. Like, maybe don't take that overall minus 160. Give him a first half touchdown.
Do you think that's better than? You like that better than the first team, which was plus 300? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just laterable,
Sure. That's true.
Look at us we're both seeing stuff. We're like, all right, write that down.
Yeah, listen, I'll say this, and I told everybody, I have too many plays written down right now, and this is only because it's week 1. I'll be honest and say, like, it's only because it's week 1. It's worked out in our favor so far. But like, this is not something I want to sustain. So if you're looking at all the plays that I'm putting in there, this is not necessarily the normal. Like, we will try to pare down a little bit more, but there's just so much to like. And it's so new on the season that we're just excited. I mean, like, it's just, how could you not be? This is the time to have some fun, lower your units down for week 1. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Lower your units down slightly, potentially for week 1 for some of these bets, especially these higher odds plays. And then, as the season starts going, we start really hitting our stride even more so. I don't even know how to say that, but like, as we really start getting in a good groove, then you start, okay, now we kind of know where it's coming from. Right now, it's a lot up in the air. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I really like Garrett Wilson. I really like Garrett Wilson to take that leap. But like you said, Brees Hall's probably the best guy to bet on to score a touchdown there. So I think actually, I wonder what the anytime touchdown is for both of them. Brees and Garrett Wilson, anytime touchdown. I think that's another angle you could take it.
+1, I was just looking at plus 130 and plus 140 on FanDuel. There it is. And then DK, I think, had plus 160, right? For Garrett Wilson, plus 150.
That's not bad.
It's not bad
either. Something like that. Kind of cover both of them. I mean, how do you not? Oh, Christian McCaffrey 2 plus. I would leave it 1 plus. Put his 1 plus. I mean, come on. It ain't bad. You actually, you know what we might even like better? So I like this because I really think you can lock in what the Jets are going to do a little easier than what are we going to do with Debo and Ayuk? Obviously, you heard us kind of talk about that a little bit. We both kind of like one or the other a little bit more. So like, give me, there it is.
I can't help myself.
Give me
a game scripted it for us. I'll talk about this in a second.
Yeah. So give me the team that we think we can get a better, clearer picture of who's going to score the touchdowns, throw them together, lock them in with a guy that we is pretty certain is going to score a touchdown. And there you go. You got a plus 1,000.
Yeah. So what I did here is a game scripted a single game parlay. Listen, this doesn't need to be a show official or anything. I'm just showing people. If you are thinking to yourself, both Brees and Garrett Wilson are scoring, guess what? The Jets offense probably humming along. If both of those guys are scoring, they are humming along. They're playing a good game. At which point, probably San Francisco on the other side. Jets are going to be the team here that ruins the total, not San Fran, in my opinion. So if they're both scoring, the offense is humming along. I think the over is looking solid. You could shoot. I mean, we could even add the spread in there. Listen, all the alphas are scoring for the Jets. It's going to stay close. And then Niners at home pull out the W. It's just a close W. Actually, we had plus 7.5. I did have that in there. So they lose by, they cover, right? So they can lose by a touchdown. It's still okay. Niners are winning it. It's an over. CMC scores as usual. Wilson and Brees both score at plus 4,000. Like, I love game scripting parlays. Cashed out a plus 1,500 on Thursday. Last night, dude, oh my gosh. Last night, almost at the plus 1,800. I did one lotto per primetime game. Plus 1,800. We needed the Packers to cover by plus 3.5. And I thought there was a chance at the end of the game there that the Eagles were going to kneel down and give the ball to, and this was purely just my want and desire, that they were going to give the ball to the Packers on their own 1 yard line with like 28 seconds and no timeouts, because I thought that would be like an insurmountable position to be in. And it didn't matter. Like, okay, they get a 99-yard touchdown. There's no difference of the kickoff and then getting a 70-yard touchdown. Like, they're going to lose either way. So might as well make them start at the 1. But they didn't do that. They kicked the field goal and it ruined the plus 1800.
I think truthfully,
something like this, I would actually run out as my official like Monday night lotto.
Yeah. So I think that truthfully, I think that I'm with you because like I understand like you were rooting for that, but I think they did the smarter NFL from an NFL standpoint play, right? I think so, right? But honestly, I think it's a decent.
Didn't change the outcome. That's
I know, but I think it's up for a debate, though. That's what I'm saying. Like I do think you actually could debate. Are you better off taking the chance for the touchdown and you score a touchdown, the game's over, and in worst case scenario, you don't score a touchdown to get the ball at the 1 yard line? Is that a better outcome for your team or better chances of winning? Like, what's your probability of winning that compared to kicking the field goal? I think it's actually open for a conversation. Now, I know selfishly you had a bet going, so of course you think, but now I do think it's an interesting conversation just from an NFL standpoint. So I think probably taking the points and forcing them to for sure score a touchdown is the play. Because if they take over at the 1 and they only need a field goal, that's a little bit, that matters. But I mean, honestly, they almost got down there. They really did. And then Jordan Love got hurt and they couldn't do anything. But yeah, listen, what you're doing right now, game scripting this out, Mitch, is like, this is why you should totally join for one of these primetime games and let's do it. Because that's literally what I do all night. It's like, okay, if you think the Jets win, what does that look like? Here's a parlay for that. If you think the 49ers win, what does that look like? And just, game script out how this game goes and correlate things and stuff. And that's what it is. Primetime parlays, baby. Primetime parlays, baby.
Had to write that one down. I'm going to likely build out from this as my baseline for Monday night.
Yeah.
Just to keep it simple.
Love Brees.
Just to keep it simple. I like the Niners to win. I do. And then I think the Jets keep it close. I think Aaron Rodgers and this team is going to be good this season. I'm worried about the AFC East. I think the Jets are potentially one of those teams that could be like, dark horse. Honestly, a dark horse for the AFC to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Go to the Super Bowl. I mean, they have what they need. They've got all the pieces. Let's say that. Can they put it together? We'll find out. We're 18 weeks away.
Yeah. I like the Brees Hall and CMC, the twofer.
Me too. That was a good call.
I feel like that's easy. That's like, man, yeah, I just feel like that's too easy. All right. I like it.
Too easy.
Too easy, right? Almost like it's a lock. I love it. Oh man, it's good to have football back.
What I love about this show, it's freaking how casual it is. My gosh, just being able to just relax.
Just relax.
Just be able to relax.
Take your shoes
off.
Have
all that pressure. Yeah, you don't have that pressure of being by yourself, talking for 30, 40, 50 minutes in a row. We're just thinking through things. We want to get the mental juices flowing for you all. I think we did our job today. It was a good day. It was a good day. Thank you for everybody who watched us. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to our channels. And, of course, follow us on Twitter. You can see our names there at DFS and Donuts. And where's our dual stream? There. It's at DFS and Donuts and at The Hulk Bets. And my friends, we will see you again next Saturday. David, you want to send us off?
NFL is officially back. Enjoy the primetime games. Have a great weekend with your family. Hopefully you get to sit down and watch some football this weekend. And we will see you. You'll see our faces all week, but we will see you next Saturday morning, 9 a.m.
Beautiful.
Magnificent, right?
Hit your stride already, baby.